I've been going to the same dentist for 3 months here in Shanghai, and she just found out that I'm foreigner.
I've recently come across this challenge called the China effect, where people are comparing their first week in China versus 1 year or 2 years in China. What difference can you observe? Some are speaking of looking younger than their actual age, or just reverse aging once they go to China. And for some, it's peaceful, it's calm, it feels more home than their actual home, that they feel this is the place to be. And it's even much more interesting that there are Chinese who cannot tell the difference between foreigners and Chinese. And guess who are they mistaken for? Interesting. Let's check this.
I'm Mexican and I went to China recently. I went to the Guangdong province and then I went to Chongqing. So kind of like the southwestern side of the country and then the really southern part of the country. And I was perceived in different ways. But essentially, there was a good amount of people that were genuinely confused when they saw me. And they were wondering if I was Chinese or not. Because I even had some guy stop me in the mall and he was like, "Ni shizhen guo ma?" And I had to say like, "No, I'm Mexican," you know. And there was other people that are like, "Oh, you do look similar to like Chinese people." There were people that again echo the same thing in my red note comments, where they could see maybe like an ethnic minority in China. And then there's other people that knew I was foreign, but they couldn't quite place from where. But it was interesting. I did get quite a bit of stares, like just going out and about, you know, because I probably just dressed differently, and obviously it looked pretty different. But I did buy some nice clothes in Guangdong. I really like the styles and everything. But I have to say, as far as like my experience with the country, I'm glad I have a B1 level in Mandarin, because if I didn't have intermediate, I feel like it just would have made it more stressful and harder to navigate. But the fact that I did know quite a bit really came in handy with every single interaction possible, like especially including like at the airport terminals or like immigration, things like that. So yeah, it was pretty freaking great. As far as the infrastructure in the cities, I think that China is drastically ahead of the United States in terms of the infrastructure and the cities. And I say that as somebody that's been to big cities in the US, such as New York City. I've been there multiple times. You know, I've been to other cities like Nashville and Tennessee and Dallas and stuff like that. I've been to LA, but I haven't been to like the most developed parts of LA. I've just been to some parts of LA, you know, for layovers and stuff like that. But I would say that Chinese cities really just blow those out of the water. Like Chongqing or Shenzhen definitely do. I mean, Guangzhou does, I would say. So, yeah, it's just insane how like beautiful it is over there. It's honestly extremely beautiful. And one other thing I really liked about China is that there's a lot of like shared spaces where you can do a lot of activity. They have a lot of like commercial centers. So I feel like it's better as far as being able to get out there and socialize, as opposed to the US. You know, we're kind of lacking that. Or at least where I'm from in Huntsville, we're like kind of lacking that shit. People complain about that shit all the time. So overall, like a really positive experience. I'll make more of these videos as I like think about different things, but it was a pretty great experience.
So I have a question. This has happened to me 6 times already in the month that I've been in China. I've had usually older, always older actually, aunties or uncles, so like older gentlemen or ladies, come up to me and ask me for directions. Like Chinese, ask me for directions. And I'm just wondering why. Like, is this a normal thing? Like, why would they ask me? Like, I clearly look like a foreigner. So, like, why? I feel bad because I can never help, but I'm just curious as to why they would ask.
I've been going to the same dentist for 3 months here in Shanghai, and she just found out that I'm foreigner. So yesterday I had a dentist appointment. I have a problem on my front tooth. It's something like root canal related, and I've been treating it for 3 months. I visited that clinic like at least 10 times, and yesterday was supposed to be one of my last visits. I'm almost done, and the doctor told me that I have to go back around September, and I was like, well, 9月份我去不了，因为我要回国. And suddenly both my dentist and the girl who was helping her, both of them just stopped and looked at each other and then looked at me, and I was like, what did I say? Like, I just want to change time, like I cannot come in September. And she was like, 回国是什么意思？你不是新疆的吗？ I was like, when did I even say that? All this time, 3 months that I've been going there, they thought I was Chinese. My immediate reaction to that question was like, 医生，我的中文有那么好吗？ I was like, you guys thought like my Chinese is that good that you thought I was Chinese? That made me so happy, but it was also so funny.
Not calling out this commenter at all. I just needed a comment to reply to. But yeah, I read a lot of the comments and I'm flattered that you guys think I look even remotely Chinese because like you guys are pretty. There's some of y'all are like really pretty, but I don't see it at all. I don't think I look like 0% Chinese, honestly. But I guess that's a good thing that some of you do think that, because now I can like blend in and no one will bother me. Like I can just blend in the crowd and I won't stand out like the foreigner. But yeah, I honestly don't see it at all, 0%. But I guess if that's the reason, that's the reason. I'm just gonna leave it at that. But I just really don't see it.
If we had to draw some similarities, the closest people that I see they look like are the Uyghurs in China. Look at them. Look at these faces. You see? I don't know if I would find a girl. Why are Chinese always wearing glasses? I know these are musicians, but also, why do you guys wear glasses all the time? Especially men, always in glasses. And I live in this place right here where this girl is doing a tour. In Xinjiang. Check this.
Hi guys. So it's my first time in Xinjiang and I'm shocked because check out the crowd here. It's 9 p.m. on a Monday and I can't believe that there's so many people on the street alone. Look at this. Look at this. I can't believe it. And it's estimated that over 220,000 people pass through this street alone on a single day on an average basis. This street is only like 700 meters long and it's crazy. Wow. Wow. This just goes to show how tourism is booming in Xinjiang. This is peak tourism season. Peak. And I don't think this is even the busiest hour.
Okay, in this clip we'll see other minorities. Okay, they look different. Look at that. The Han, the some word I can't read. Hui. Okay, they look so pretty. Like, even for those who believe that there's discrimination of minority groups in China, I think the people who are to report of that are those foreigners who are kind of mistaken for minorities, you know. Those are the people who can tell us. Imagine the person who has been visiting the dentist for 3 months and she has never encountered any unfair treatment. And you want me to believe that there is discrimination against minority groups? Just help someone believe that.
So I went on a date in Chongqing and we went to the bookstore. So she wanted to study some stuff and I could just trace Chinese characters while we kind of chilled out, got some coffee, and then later we were just going to explore more of the city. And so I was like, okay, yeah, bet. So she like gave me this notebook to start tracing Chinese characters. And as I did it, you know, I always like doing it because it's kind of peaceful to do. She was just staring at me for a while and I was like, hey, you know, aren't you gonna do your studying or what's going on here? And I was like blushing and she was like, oh yeah, I'll do that later, you know, don't worry about it, like you just focus on tracing the characters. But she wasn't like giving instructions or anything. She was just kind of like staring at me with like the most charming smile ever, like kind of like admiringly, and like my blush was just deepening and I was like, oh fuck. Like I could like hardly concentrate.
China is occupying Muslim families' homes? What? Like, let's break down some anti-China propaganda from Human Rights Watch.
Thanks, Marix, for this comment and for sending the link. I've been tasked to explain what this report really is about. My opinion is that it is anti-China propaganda, and I'm going to talk you through why. First off, Human Rights Watch is funded by the NED. If you don't know what the NED is, check that out, which basically means that it is one of those NGOs that's main purpose is to further US imperial narrative. In this title, Occupy, that's going to make you think of settler colonialism, Becoming Family campaign intensifies repression in Xinjiang. What it is asserting is that Chinese officials since early 2018 have imposed regular homestays on families in the predominantly Muslim region of Xinjiang. These visits are part of the government's increasingly invasive Strike Hard campaign. To give you a context of what is happening at this time in Xinjiang, the Strike Hard campaign is part of China's response to the multitudes of terrorist attacks. Their idea of how to solve the problem of extremism, knowing that these terrorist attacks were part of this organization that has US-backed element, Taliban, Bin Laden, Al-Qaeda, etc. China was looking at the population of Xinjiang and trying to figure out why a small section of society attracted to these extremist elements. Came to the conclusion that it's basically poverty, lack of opportunity, and lack of education. This is how they tried to solve that problem. People were sent to live with families that were identified as vulnerable, and also the training centers that we've all heard so much about were different methods to get them out of extremist influence. Now, I want to point out another important aspect of this, which is that this time was during the Targeted Poverty Alleviation Program, which started in 2013 when there were about 80 million people still in absolute poverty. So this type of program is something that happened all across China and is actually why they were able to achieve zero poverty by the end of 2020. It's a program that was for everybody that fell below the poverty threshold. This is how they define the poverty threshold. It's not just targeted to Muslims. Millions of government officials were mobilized to live all across China, anywhere from 3 to 5 years at a time. They would live side by side with the families that were in need of help to figure out what their personal unique struggles were that were obstacles from them being able to have a decent livelihood. This is the thing that's very sneaky about these reports, is that they take something that's actually a program for good and then they make it sound nefarious. They even say here that officials were part of these families' everyday lives, making beds, sharing meals, household chores. Basically anything that these families needed help with, these government officials were there to help them. This was just one component of the Targeted Poverty Alleviation Program, but it was for every Chinese person that was below the poverty threshold.
But you know what? Even when some propaganda sounds like this, people still believe them. Check this.
The Orwellian government of China has banned all news articles on their Uyghur genocide. And yesterday, when 466 people protested against the Uyghur genocide, they arrested all of them, and their police even bragged about arresting them for the crime of protesting a genocide that their government supports. Yeah, you know I'm not talking about China, baby. Great Britain, the UK, England, Keir Starmer, or otherwise known as Kid Starver, 466 people arrested for protesting genocide. News articles for Palestine blocked on the internet. Just complete internet censorship because people were searching up genocide too much. Genocide that your government supported. Good job, Kid Starver.